Should I learn how to ride a horse? I mean, I live in Texas, got the hat, drive a pickup truck, you know, I live out in the middle of nowhere. I like brisket, things like I like watching football, but I feel like I should learn how to ride a horse because it seems so cool. Now, I've ridden a horse before, but that was kind of like British style. You know, it's very, jolly good, have a cup of tea and maybe a crumpet. But there's something about Western style, it looks so much cooler. It's kind of manly. I feel like I should do it. When my wife sees people riding a horse, she gets kind of quiet, especially if it's a man. It makes her feel some kind of a way. And I'm like, I want to do that. Because I was watching this movie, one of my favorite movies. It's brilliant if you haven't seen it, but I'm sure you have. The movie City Slickers. Billy Crystal and his buddies, they go to New Mexico. And they've got to drive a bunch of cattle to Colorado. And it's really awesome. But at the beginning, none of them can ride. And by the end of it, they look awesome. As they're like... Dun, 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 dun. So I feel like this is something I need to do. The reason I was watching City Slickers is because the state that we are trying to take down in this week's episode of the United States of a Movie podcast is New Mexico. So, I mean, like, what's a movie that when you think New Mexico, you immediately think of a movie? Because we did City Slickers and the movie Them, which is a 1950s, like, monster movie, which talks about, like, giant ants that, you know, mutated because of the first atomic test. So we also decided to cover its prequel, a little movie you may have heard of called Oppenheimer. So as we try to figure out the movie that best defines New Mexico, it's also got me thinking of, should I learn how to ride? And if I do want to learn, where do I go? While you're thinking about that, why don't you drop by and listen to the latest episode of the United States of a Movie podcast? You can find us on Apple, you can find us on Amazon, you can find us on Spotify, you can listen to us on your laptop online if you really want to. It's great fun. I love doing it. We really love getting into these movies, revisiting some classics from the past, and delving deep into why on earth the whole of America, nay, the whole world, is really getting into watching a 3-hour biopic about Oppenheimer. Here's another question. Biopic or biopic? I'm team biopic.